remember, shout out to my Patreon. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys. So make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. Don't forget to order your custom Stokes styling merch. That's right, we have merch. Just click the link down below in the description box and order your Stokes styling merch today. We about to get started, you guys. 10 seconds. Make sure you share this video out. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about love and marriage. Huntsville, you guys. Before we get started, I want to make sure that I let y'all know to like the video as you enter. Please don't forget to like the video. That helps me in the algorithm, you guys, and that is always important. Please let me know down in the chat box that you were here. Just leave an emoji. Tell me your thoughts about tonight's episode. Leave a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Hey, Brittany, thank you so much for joining tonight. We're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. I got my notes. I want to get to this. Because I was on Twitter. With everybody clowning. Let me trying to get my thing. Okay. So the episode starts off with the couples basically downloading. You know how it goes. You've been on a trip. They had the night before with the guys, and then the guys went their way, the girls went their way. And so they're trying to download. We start off by seeing Kimmy and Maurice sitting together, and Kimmy said they had a good time. Asked Maurice what they were doing. Apparently they had a good time. I guess they must have went to a strip club or something. And Kimmy says that it got a little rowdy with the girls that night because Destiny threatened to drag Tiffany. Okay, apparently it got real heated, and the heatation continued on the Sprinter van after what we saw. So even when they got done shooting, apparently Destiny still had that smoke. I'm not mad. I don't see it for Tiffany, and apparently neither does Twitter. Um, so then we cut over to Tiffany and Lewis, and Tiffany is saying how she feels like she can't be herself with the group, and she's just all about transparency, and she just didn't expect it to get to that level with her and Destiny, and how upset it made her. I'm going to put a poll down in the chat. Do you want to see Tiffany and Lewis back next season, you guys? I'm letting you know right now. As for me and my feelings, especially like I'm done. I'm done with them after this episode. Because they for some reason feel like they have enough knowledge or experience, or I don't know, to give advice to everybody else. Lewis is gonna say, well, you know what, maybe Destiny is jealous of our relationship. She's jealous, and she sees how much we love each other, and so she feels away because she's going through a divorce. They are so aggravating to me. I've never been around like a new couple like this. Now I know that they exist. I've never been around a new couple like this. And what I mean by that is a couple who ain't been together long enough, but think that they have all of the secrets and all of the ins and outs and know everything there is to know about marriage. It doesn't make sense. Y'all have not been married one full year. Y'all have not been married one full year. And I don't care that this is their second marriage or whatever, so they've had some marriage experience. Y'all have not been in this marriage long enough to tell me anything. Y'all are still in the honeymoon phase. Everything is perfect in the honeymoon phase. Get out of my face with this. Um, they aggravate me. So let me put my notes back up because they aggravate me, and it's like okay. Anywho, then we see Destiny and Melody go out to have a conversation, and Melody basically just says she wants to know, like, do you and are you and Tiffany okay? Do you see it for Tiffany? I just don't know where y'all are. There is no question about where Tiffany and Destiny are. Destiny don't like Tiffany. Like, period. Like, there ain't nothing to question. There's nothing to talk about. Destiny don't see it for Tiffany, just like the rest of us. So I don't understand why Melody is going out of her way to try to make them friends. They not gonna be friends. Some people you just don't mesh with. It is what it is. Destiny says that she thinks the issue is that they never fully resolved how Tiffany came into the group at Destiny's birthday party, and maybe if they were to resolve it, then maybe she wouldn't feel like everything Tiffany says is a jab. But I still don't even think that's true. I think Tiffany is just not a good fit for this group, period. I think that she just like Destiny said last week, it does give off big Karen energy. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry, hold on. My bad. Don't mind me. But yeah, it does give off big Karen energy. It does give off big, I know, I know everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to fix my lighting on my thing because this is bothering me. I had my settings perfect and then my computer froze the other day. And so now my settings are off and it's blowing me. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, anyway, it does give off big Karen energy, and that's why Destiny doesn't see it for Tiffany. And Melody says that maybe Tiffany's biggest issue is just her approach. It's not just the approach, Mel. It is it's not just how she says it, it's what she says, it's when she says, it's the fact that she thinks that she has enough experience to say anything in this group. Period. That's just what it is. So then lastly, we see Tisha coming and talking to Marceau, and she says that, the ladies talked last night and it was brought to her attention that Marceau told the men that Tisha seems to be insecure. And so she asked, do you feel like I'm insecure? And he go, she says that, she says that she wanted to know if he felt like she was insecure. He said, well, I think you have insecurities. And she said, well, everybody has insecurities. And that's exactly what I said last week. I said that everybody has insecurities. There's nothing wrong with that. The issue with Tisha is that she already had some insecurities, and then you get on this show and all that's going to do is magnify whatever issues you've already had. And she basically reaffirmed what I was already saying. Coming on this show, and even if she did feel 90%, 95%, let's say she felt 95% secure in her marriage, but you get on this show and for the past 3 years, 3 seasons, you've had any and everybody from fans to your own family talking about how your husband is out here stepping out on you. From fans to family to friends, everybody is out here talking about how your husband is stepping out on you. That is going to cause some insecurity. Those rumors have, she said, even if she doesn't want to admit it, maybe in the back of her head, she can admit that some of this has possibly caused her to hold a little bit of insecurities. And so it's kind of been hard for her to express it. And so that was kind of the reason why, she went in and wanted to do this emergency counseling. And it tripped me out because Marceau was just like, well, if you had an issue, I didn't think you had an issue, but you taking me to counseling lets me know that there was an issue. So now, Marceau, you can acknowledge that there clearly is some type of issue in your relationship, but you still don't think it pertinent to continue with counseling. That to me is what doesn't make sense. And so then Marceau says that at the end of the day, you can't let outside people ruin your life when they know 10% of what's going on in your household. He says that they wake up together, they go to work together, they eat together, they got children together, they sleep together. And people in the outside world don't know what's going on between them. And then he says that he asked Tisha, he says, so these people that are calling you and telling you about your relationship, are they married? And she says, no, none of my married friends have asked me anything about these rumors. He says, would you take any business advice from them? She said, no, I wouldn't take any business advice from them. Excuse me. And so he says, so you don't trust these people enough to even take business advice. They're not on your level. Why are you taking in what they have to say about your marriage? And honestly, excuse me, I do agree with Marceau's sentiment in that. I agree with Marceau a lot this episode. I'm not going to say surprisingly, because Marceau actually does make some decent points a lot of the time. It's not that he doesn't make decent points. It's not that he doesn't make decent points. It's that his attitude is so cavalier to Tisha's feelings. That is what aggravates me about him. I guess that's the best way I can put it. That's what aggravates me about him, because now she's sitting up here and she's telling you, well, okay, this is a vulnerable and this is a really good conversation. This is, she's letting you know, all right, I do trust you and I want to trust you, but here's my issue. My issue is all of this outside stuff. That's where my insecurities are coming from. But then Marceau continues to play on her insecurities, but then try to act like she is but then try to act like she is overreacting or something when she expresses them. Something about it just doesn't make sense to me, you guys. Like, it's like it's like you know that you're doing wrong, but you refuse to change. Or it's not even that he's doing wrong. It's that you know that you're hurting your wife, but you refuse to change. It's like he just wants to stick with the status quo, and that's what's aggravating. So even then, he asks, "What can I do to make things better?" As if he really wants to do something to make things better. And when Tisha says she just really enjoys quality time, she doesn't just want to take trips by herself with the kids. She wants quality time. This is not our first time hearing Tisha say this. Tisha said this in the counseling session. She said, I just want quality time. He still doesn't seem to get it. At first, when I was watching this scene, I was like, okay, I think that he's coming around. I think that he's real. This is a genuine conversation. This is what I first started thinking when I was watching the scene. But then after she legitimately says, "I just want quality time with you," he goes on and talks about how he's just working to make their lives better and to build generational wealth, and they're almost there, and she just has to trust him. I was like, so he didn't hear anything that she just said. He didn't hear anything that she just said. I understand wanting to work. I understand wanting to create generational wealth. However, that means nothing if your family unit is broken. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's important. I think that building generational wealth is important. And I do think that overall Marceau's mindset of really wanting to get out here and grind is admirable. But you can't put work or business or anything before your family. And that's where it seems like the biggest disconnect is. They don't hold their family in the same weight. And later on in the episode, Marceau says how he takes his marriage so seriously, and this is later on when they talk about vow renewal. We'll get there, but I'm just making this point so I don't forget it. He talks about how he holds his family to such high regard and he takes it so seriously. But when your wife is sitting up here telling you simply, "I just want to spend family time with you," you are giving her excuses and talking in circles as to why you can't give her that. It doesn't make sense to me. And again, it just it feeds into why she has some of the insecurities that she has. It's like you claim that you care all of this stuff about family. You're not present in your family like I would like you to be present in your family. And then I'm hearing all of these things, these outside things from outside people. Um yeah. Yeah. Then let me see. Tisha then begins to hint that she wants to do a vow renewal. She tries to make it sound like it's going to be spur of the moment and just something fun to do. And what if, we're in Vegas, that type of thing. And Marceau says he doesn't want to do that. If they were to renew their vows, he would want it to be just the two of them. And she says, "Why just the two of us?" He says, "Well, I feel like that's something intimate. I don't want it to be with this group of friends. You have people that are just going through divorce. I just don't think that it would be right to do it here. I don't want to do that." He makes it clear. She never even said they were going to do a vow renewal. He brought it. He was like, "I don't want to do a vow renewal, especially not here, not in Vegas, not with these group of friends. I think that would be something that we should do between us." He said it. He said it. So later on in this episode, when they go do this, I feel in no ways sympathetic for Tisha at all. I'm making that clear right now. I do not care. I don't care how hurt her face looked. I don't care how puppy dog eyes she gave. I do not care. This man sat up here in this scene before y'all still sitting in pajamas, and he told you that he didn't want to do a vow renewal, and that's just what that is. So when y'all pull up to the chapel later on and he's sitting up there like, now I just said a few hours ago, this ain't what I wanted to do. She thinks she gonna make me do this. I don't feel sorry for you. Your face was cracked. It was the most, okay, I ain't even got there yet. But yeah, I don't feel no ways about it. So then after the conversation with Marceau, Tisha goes to visit Tiffany, and Tiffany basically asks if everything was okay between them, and she admits that she needs to work on her timing. Tisha, even though she did feel away, she was like, "Oh no, nah, girl, we cool, we cool." And I think that's what aggravates me with Tisha. Again, she does this not just with Tiffany, but she does this in her marriage. She pushes down her feelings and doesn't truly express herself. And then that's why we got Mama Wanda out here speaking Tisha's mind for her, because she doesn't express herself. Tisha, you did feel away about how Tiffany brought all of that up, and you should have let her know right then and there, but she didn't. And then Tisha says to Tiffany and Lewis that there's going to be a change of plans for the day, that they're not going to do the renewal. And literally, it seems like 10 seconds after Marceau said, don't be listening to outside people about your relationship, she goes in here and tells them that Marceau isn't for the renewal, so she don't think she's going to do it. And Tiffany and Lewis talk her into doing it. Make it make sense. Make it like that don't make no sense to me. Y'all drop down in the comments. Tell me if it makes sense to y'all. If y'all watching me on the playback, drop down in the comments. Tell me if that makes sense to y'all. This man just said he don't want to do the vow renewal, and you can't be listening to people outside your marriage about outside your marriage. You don't know nothing about your marriage, Then you run in here to these two fools and tell them, okay, well, we just gonna change our plan. I mean, I did pay for it and everything, but he don't want to do it, so we still gonna go out eat. We still gonna have a good time. And they go, I think you should do it. What about that statement make you think that she should have did that? What about that statement was like, girl, but we still need no. Again, you sitting up here listening to these two people that ain't got nothing to say. Like I wouldn't listen to nothing that Tiffany nor Big Hip Lewis got to say to me, especially after this man literally just told you that he ain't hint about it. He ain't beat around the bush. He said the words, I ain't doing no vow renewal here in Vegas. Come on now. I blame you for your own embarrassment. Before we continue on in the episode, I am going to give a shout out to my Patreons. I see a Patreon in the building. Hold on one second. Remember, shout out to my Patreons. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year, because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys, so make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. Shout out to the Patreons, y'all. Okay, we're going to go ahead and keep going. Before we do, if you're new here, make sure that you like the video. Okay. So they get on the bus, right? They get on the bus and they start talking about everything that they did last night. We do see that there was some fun to be had between the ladies, even though Destiny had a wardrobe malfunction. I actually got a little rhinestone top, similar to Destiny's little top. And honey, apparently while they was on the little Sprint van or in the back of the club or somewhere, it looked like wasn't nobody there around them. Her doggone top done fell off. I said, oh, okay, Destiny, flashing for the girls. But anyway, so they on the Sprinter van, and they finna go handle their things for the evening. And we just having like little banter. Some kind of way we get on Martell in his tight pink suit. You already know Martell sitting up here shopping out of Baby Gap like he ain't 250 pounds. And Kimmy makes a joke. Okay, so they pull up to the chapel, right? And so when they pull up to the chapel, everybody's like, "Oh, we're here so that the people who we're here to celebrate their relationship, the people who's been married for 15 years, we're here to celebrate them and their vow renewal." Marcel was like, "Why are we here?" Because once again, like I said, he already said what he wasn't gonna do. So then Kimmy makes a joke and says, "Well, maybe the Holts are going to renew their vows." And then they laugh. "Oh, is it too soon? Is it too soon?" Kimmy, I love you, boo. I do. Y'all know Kimmy is my boo. I love me some Kimmy. But I want y'all to leave Melody and Martell alone. I want y'all to like don't address them together at any point. Like address him, address her. Don't address them in the same sentence. They can't. They like I don't want no friction between them. They are like two school kids who just argue and bicker back and forth. So I would not even bring any attention to them. And Melody says she's sick and tired of everybody making jokes. When are y'all just gonna get the hint that Melody and Martell are over? And I'm with her on that. Like I would like y'all. It ain't cute. Like we are fresh divorced. At this point, they are fresh divorced. We ain't at a point where we can laugh and joke about renewing our vows. The answer is not just no, but a resounding hell no. Okay. Okay. So they get into the doggone chapel, right? And so before they, like I said, there's all this talk about Marceau. Clearly, y'all are here to renew y'all's vows. That's why you're here. He's sitting here looking stupid. Tisha's sitting here looking stupid. They go in. She tries to make this little speech about, oh, well, we're just here to celebrate love, and there's so much love in this group, mind you. Well, I was gonna say, mind you, not everybody's married. I mean, we got we got two other married couples, you know. So there's so much love. And if anyone wants to take the time to renew or rededicate, your love, or, you can do this right now while we're at the chapel. Everybody's sitting up here looking stupid. And then Destiny and Melody are basically like, Marceau, aren't you going to say that y'all are going to, renew your vows? Then Marceau tries to redirect it. Like, I mean, you can renew anything. You can rededicate to anything. Y'all. And okay, here's the thing. Because even Destiny was like in her confession, like, oh, this is so awkward. This is so awkward. Here's the thing. Tisha, again, like I said earlier, Tisha did this to herself. It did not have to be this awkward moment. So you come up here, you made this whole speech, and everybody is sitting up here like, okay, so why are we here if y'all aren't going to work this? If y'all aren't going to do this, this is your trip. Why are we here? And I kind of commend Marceau like this much. Not commend. Commend isn't the right word. I understood Marceau trying to step in and redirect the awkwardness, but he was also standing in the fact that he already said that he was not finna do this vow renewal. So it's like you're embarrassing yourself. I'm gonna try to take the embarrassment off of you a little bit, but I already told you what I'm not gonna do. And so then because I guess it had just got too awkward too fast, Tiffany and Lewis decide that they're going to recommit themselves and their 11-month marriage. They're going to do a recommitment ceremony today. And this is the comment. We don't want wide hip 1 or wide hip 2 back next season. Okay? Like, okay, y'all want to recommit because I mean, we're here at this point. We're here. It's awkward. We got to shoot something. So okay, Tiffany and Lewis decide that they're gonna recommit. And this is this is the most cringe worthy scene of the entire evening, because you have Tisha sitting there looking like she's holding back tears, like she's trying to put on this fake, but she literally looks like she's holding back tears. Stop. She looks like she's holding back tears because she's clearly disappointed. I guess she felt like, even though he said he wasn't going to do it, maybe when we get here, he'll change his mind. He whispered in the ear, we not doing this, right? You good? She was like, yeah, no, I'm good. They go up there. The lady starts doing the vows. She says, so y'all can recommit. We're here today so that Tiffany and Lewis can recommit their 11-month marriage. And Marceau says it's like heating up food that you still cooking. How they ain't been married for 3 songs, but finna get up here and recommit and gonna sit up here and try to tell me, who's been married 15 years, how to how to run our marriage. Marceau was giving it to Tiffany and Lewis this episode. It was funny to me. So then I don't know if y'all heard this, but this is before they went up to say the vows. So after they said that they was gonna recommit or whatever, Marceau taking his jabs in his confessional, Tiff was like, yeah, no, we'll do it, we'll be the example. What are y'all an example of? What are y'all an example of, Tiffany and Lewis? Y'all have this overinflated sense of self. It's really kind of sad. Like, I really want y'all, and I don't want to see y'all on this show for 5 seasons or something. Like, let's say this show went 5 more seasons. I truly don't want to see you on this show 5 more seasons, but I'm just saying, let's just say you made it 5 more seasons on this show. I would love to see where your marriage is. And that is not wishing any damnation or anything bad onto their marriage. However, you can't tell someone how to run something that you have not done. This is y'all's first season on a reality show within a year of your marriage. You have zero idea what it is like. Zero idea. You barely have any idea what it's like to be married to the person you're standing next to. And then on top of that, to be adding being on a reality TV show, but you think that you have enough experience, enough know-how to be the example for these people who've been married for over a decade. And I'm not saying that they even know that. You want to know who can be the example for the next marriage? Nobody. You can take bits and pieces from different married people, but ain't nobody gonna be the example for the next person's marriage, because guess what? The next person ain't in your marriage. And y'all need to sit down and shut up. But all right, so they get up there, they do their vows. The lady says, we're gonna recommit these 11 months. And Martell claps and goes, woo, 11 months. Some people don't make it that long. And Destiny was like, are you trying to throw jabs? Are you saying? He was like, no, man, I ain't mean it like that. We here, we cool. I thought that was so funny to me. I don't know if that tickled me. I don't think he was trying to shade Destiny, but meanwhile, Destiny done got hit in the crossfire. Cause girl, yeah, y'all ain't make it to 11 months. That sucks. It sucks. But anyway, so they go up there, woo woo, yay. After they're done, they walk down the aisle, they come back. Here Lewis and Tiffany go again, trying to pressure Marceau into saying something. Trying to pressure him into saying something. And again, Marceau is just like, no, I'm not. I'm good. He says, I wouldn't do this as spur of the moment. Because Tisha kept trying to say that it's spur of the moment, even though she planned and paid for it. That's not what spur of the moment means, Tisha. I don't know if you know that or not, but spur of the moment, you can't plan something that's spur of the moment. That's an oxymoron. spur of the moment would have been like, oh, we riding down the street. Oh, there goes a chapel. Oh, let's pull in here and renew our vows. Not, I planned this day out and we're going to renew our vows and then we're going to go to dinner. And then we're like, that's not what spur of the moment is. And she clearly was really hurt by the fact that Marceau didn't want to do it. So anyway, they're trying to pressure Marceau into doing it. And Melody's sitting over there like, why is he being such a hole? Like, he sees that, she wants to do it. The least he could do is get up there and just profess his love to her. So then Lewis from across the chapel go, Melody, I heard you just say something. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, Marceau, why don't you profess your love to your wife? Why don't you profess? And while I can agree, the least he could have done is just been like, you know what, babe, even though I don't want to renew my vows, I do want to thank you for planning this amazing 15-year anniversary. I love you. You know what I'm saying? He could have done that. We already know who we dealing with Marceau. Marceau is a troll. Marceau is a troll. And he don't just troll like us, the audience, because he trolls us. He trolls Tisha too. And so his whole point, the whole reason why he refused to even say any loving words to her in this moment, even if he wasn't going to renew his vows, the whole reason why he wasn't even going to say any loving words was to further dig into her that I told you what I wasn't going to do. I told you what I wasn't going to do. And now you finna be out here looking stupid. And I'm leaving you out here to dry. That's really what it was. It was being extremely petty. It was it was being extremely petty. It was being slightly passive aggressive, and it was digging his heels into it. You get what I'm saying? That's really what it was. Do I blame him? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna let y'all in. Let y'all know. I am this level of petty. So when I say I'm not doing something, I mean I'm not doing it. Period. That's the type of person that I am. So I can't blame him. I can't sit up here and be like, "Oh, you should have did it anyway," because that's not the type of person that I am. You know what I'm saying? If I let you know that I'm not finna do something, there is no amount of peer pressure or anything that y'all are going to do that's going to force me to do it. Ask some of my best friends, and they can't stand it, but I don't care. If I told you that I'm not going to do it, then I'm not going to do it. So I can't blame him, but it did make Tisha look crazy. And Melody was like, you sitting up here, you didn't even acknowledge the disappointment in your wife's face when they pulled up. And so then Tisha's like, well, I can speak for myself. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. So she tries to act unbothered. But no, Tisha, your face was cracked this entire scene. As a matter of fact, Tisha, your face was cracked the rest of this episode. If y'all notice, Tisha ain't say, after she gave her little speech when they walked into the chapel, Tisha ain't say barely 3 words the rest of the episode. Because her feelings was hurt. And she did it to herself. I'm sorry. I know there are gonna be some people like, well, it wouldn't have took nothing. And if you love your wife, I get it. But you did that to yourself. That man told you what he wasn't gonna do. Thick girl says, how many times would she allow him to embarrass her? And poor little Tisha. At this point, I'm sorry. In this scene, Tisha embarrassed herself. When we were looking at the previews, for it from last episode, I was like, oh my God, I came in ready to be mad with Marceau. But after watching the episode, I can't be mad with him. I can't. Tisha embarrassed herself. I'm not gonna put the blame on Marceau for this scene. for this scene. You know, any other scenes that's different. So then they leave out of there, and Melody tries to pull Tisha to the side, and it's like, I know that I could tell that you feel away. I just want to check and make sure that you're good. And when she was talking to her, it just made me think, I'm like, meanwhile, this is the same type of person that Marceau was telling you not to take any advice from, because she is someone who is, unmarried, and and then in the end, it's the same person who done sat up here and told you all this stuff, all these rumors and stuff about your husband. I would take everything Melody had to say to me with a grain of salt in general. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with what she said after, because we know that Tisha was upset. But just off of the history of their quote unquote friendship, I would take everything she said with a grain of salt anyway. So now they go to dinner. And they go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in the Paris hotel. I didn't know he had a restaurant in Paris. I thought he just had Hell's Kitchen. If y'all didn't see my vlog, I have a whole vlog of where I went to Vegas back in March, and we went to Hell's Kitchen. Y'all should totally check that out on the replay. I'll make sure I put it up in the card if you're watching this on the replay. Completely unrelated, but go check it out because we had a great time. The food was delicious. Anyway, so they go to dinner. And they, began to talk. And Kimmy brings up, Kimmy, maybe you just wanted to say something this episode, because I guess, you and Maurice weren't really needed much in this episode. So maybe you were just inserting yourself into some conversation. And I love you, but why you gonna bring up that, oh, well, we celebrated y'all's 10-year relationship, talking about Martell and Melody. We celebrated y'all 10 years anniversary. Now we celebrating their 15-year anniversary, and y'all celebrated our wedding. And Melody was like, well, it's too bad that the tradition is going to end. Like, why bring that up? Why bring that up? Like I said earlier, I would not bring up anything in reference to when the Holts were together, especially when we just got to this dinner. We just sitting at this table. I want to have a good time. I want to have a good time. It always goes back to food to eat. Look, it do. I'm hungry. I'm hungry now. When I get off of here, y'all already know what I'm finna do. I'm at the end of the review, I'll show you my belly too thick, girl. Girl, I'm getting big. Okay, but anyway. What was I saying? But no, like, I just want to have a good time. We just got here. Let me taste my food before you come up here with this foolishness. So, of course, like I said, when Kimmy brings up this unnecessary comment about how they have been together to celebrate each other's relationship milestones, Melody says, well, I'm sorry that we gonna break that tradition. Because we ain't gonna be together, sorry. So then Martell goes, well, you definitely gonna celebrate the Holts, because I'm going to get remarried, and I like being married, and I was a good man, and da 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 da. Martell, I think you like the idea of marriage. I think you like having a wife at home and the benefits of having a wife at home. But if you actually liked marriage and actually believed in the construct of marriage, then you would still be married, because your wife literally stuck around with you for 5 years of your infidelity, and you still did not change. You like the idea of marriage, but you don't like being married. Or maybe you like the idea of like a polygamous marriage or an open marriage. Maybe that's what you mean. And maybe you and Coleslaw can go and do that. And for the people on Twitter who are talking about how he's going to turn around and he's going to marry Coleslaw, he has still yet to claim her. Yet. Just to be, because I don't follow him, but I follow, but I be around. Let me just say it like that. I don't necessarily follow him, but I be around. And he is still yet to claim her. So I don't know who he's going to marry. I don't know who, because it's not going to be coleslaw. And I really do believe that there is some part of him that thinks that him and Melody are going to get back together. And Melody said in her confessional that she just hopes that he will move on one day, because she's moved on, and she would she really actually wants him to go find another relationship and be happy so that he could leave her alone. And I completely believe her sentiment in that. I think that Martell probably comes, and any chance he gets tries to sucker her back into a relationship, and she has moved on from it, in the sense that she does not want to go back to Martell, in the sense of she don't want to go back to him. Now, has she moved on from the pain and hurt? She has not, because right after all of that, okay, they decide to do a toast, and Martell says a toast to everybody being happy, and completely unprovoked, Melody goes, Martell don't want to see nobody happy. He don't want to see me happy. He was the main one that said he wished that I get into another relationship and I get my heart broken. And that just plays in the back of my head. So I don't know why he would even toast that. And it's like the fact that they do this back and like, why do y'all have to make every gathering about you two? It's not about you two right now. Like, it's not. Like, y'all just like Martell, you didn't have to say nothing about how you well, I'm a one day y'all gonna be celebrating me, and I'm gonna get remarried because I do love, and I was a good husband even though I cheated. And Melody bringing up, well, he said this about y'all. Both have said some crazy outlandish things about both of y'all, about each other. And so then some kind of way Marceau jumps in and says that the problem was that Martell kept trying to compare himself to other men, talking about what other men didn't do compared to what he did, which is, it is true. But I'm just sitting up here like, why are we having this conversation? It's so aggravating that the Holts dominate every scene that they're in together with their bull. You get what I'm saying? Y'all are not together no more. I would not be able to give this that much energy. He would be so angry with me because I would be so unbothered. I don't care if I got to go into my room at the end of the night and punch my pillow and just at the end of the night because I'm so aggravated. He would not get a reaction out of me at that table. He wouldn't get a reaction out of me at the table. He would not get that satisfaction if it were me. But that's just me talking, I guess. So Marceau says, like I said, Marceau says that Martell was the problem because he kept comparing him, what he did in his marriage to other men. And Marceau says he wanted Melody to think that he was the best man around, but it just wasn't true, which is true. And that is a form of emotional manipulation. You want when you're sitting up here abusing your spouse, you want your spouse to feel like there's no one that's going to treat them better, that this is the best you're going to get. That's how you keep people in that abusive cycle. That's like psychology. It's not 101, but definitely psychology 201. Like, that's how you keep those people in that cycle. You're like, you're not going to get better than me. Who's going to want you with 4 kids? Look at all, even though I cheat on you and disrespect you in all of these different areas, at least I come home every night. At least I am active in my children's life. At least I pay bills. And clearly that ain't enough to keep her around. So can we just not? Can we just not? Okay. So then they sitting there and then they began to talk, and Marceau confronted Lewis. He said, well, while we on the subject, I want to talk about how we need to limit this pillow talk. So Tiffany begins to say something, and then Marceau goes, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Lewis. why do y'all make me have to be on Marceau's side for anything? I don't want to be on his side for anything. But I found myself a few times this episode being like, yeah. Yeah. Even though someone tweeted, someone was like, is it really pillow talk if you're on a national TV show? And I mean, technically, no, that's not pillow talk. However, Marceau says, I shouldn't be hearing from my wife something that I said to you that you turned around and told your wife. Mind you, once again, like I said, did y'all notice how Tisha was hush mouth the whole rest of this episode after leaving the chapel? So Tisha just sitting there like, he's like, she shouldn't be bringing back to me what I said. If I wanted to talk to her about that, then me and her would have that conversation. I didn't need you to roll it back around. So then, of course, the marriage gurus that the Whitlows are going to talk about, well, we were just trying to, if you talk to your wife about it, and there should be nothing that we could say that would bring it back, and we just want transparency and da. And Tiffany went to say something. I think because Lewis said, well, I talked to my wife, and then Tiffany said something about like, well, yeah, my role as his wife, he is going to talk to me and confide in me. And so when she goes to say that, right, did y'all check Destiny? Destiny went to tapping on Melody. Talking about see, this is what I'm talking about. Right here, this is what I'm talking about. Inserting herself. Tickled. I was tickled throughout this episode with some of the most random things, but that tickled me because once again, it is what we're talking about with you, Tiffany. You talking about you gonna work on timing, baby. We still waiting on you to work on timing. Where is the time? Where is the working on it? Because this was the two men talking, confronting each other. And let's be clear, I'm gonna let y'all in on the secret, just in case you don't know. Let you in on a secret. If you tell your married friend something, 9 times out of 10, their spouse knows it. 9 times out of 10. You want to know where the foul came in? Because the foul was not between the men having the conversation. The foul was not between Lewis telling Tiffany about the conversation that the men had. The foul was Tiffany running that information back to Tisha. That is where the issue is. That's where the foul is. Had Lewis just talked to his wife and was like, well, we was out there talking, this what happened, whatever. And that would have just been the end of that. But that's almost like, think about it like, who can we talk about? Let's just talk about like something that happened at the beginning of the episode. Let's just say hypothetically, Kimmy done told Maurice about how Destiny and Tiffany got into it, and then Maurice, who was not there, turns around and brings up to the table about Destiny and Tiffany getting into it. Now it makes Maurice look messy. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, the issue was Tiffany mistransparency. You so transparent, but we don't know nothing for real about you. We really don't. We don't know. We see that you cheated. Did y'all cheat? Did you cheat in your last marriage for this one? We don't know. You're so transparent. We don't know anything about your life besides you telling everybody else's business. If you were so transparent, we would know something about you, not this facade of y'all being so perfect. And y'all are the relationship. Y'all are the example for people to be jealous of. Okay, but anyway, okay. Let me move on. Because I'm gonna go in. So then in the confessional, again, because they confessional gangsters, in the confessional, the Whitlows talk about how clearly the Scotts have bigger issues in their marriage than what they said, and they clearly can't be transparent with each other, and not everybody has open lines of communication like they have. Again, how about y'all make it to 5 years and then holler at me? Talk to me. Talk to me. Just make it to 5. Talk to me. Tell me how it goes for you. Tell me how transparent you continue to be. Just let me know. And I am not sticking up for Marceau and Tisha, because they do clearly have issues with communication in their marriage. And it's not that and from what we've seen, the issue is not that the problems aren't being spoken. It's that they're not being resolved. They are having conversations with no resolve, and without any kind of clear line of action to fixing the issues, then you're going to continue to have the issue. And that's something that happens in marriage a lot. If you have been married for any extended period of time, or even if you've been in a very long-term relationship, although I still believe that there is still a change once you get married, even if you've been in a long-term relationship, as Miguel and his now ex-wife, a lot of times you sit up here and you have the same argument of myriad of different ways. It keeps presenting itself in different ways until you resolve the actual issue. You get what I'm saying? So y'all have been married for 11 months. Y'all don't even know what y'all's revolving issue is going to be. You don't even know. You don't even know. Let me read these comments before we get to the very last little bit of the scene. Again, wide hip number 1 and wide hip number 2 don't need to come back next season. I don't want to see it. I'm looking at the poll here, and apparently, one person wants to see them back. Everybody else is like, hell no. Y'all got a few more minutes voting the poll if you have not already. Do you want to see Tiffany and Lewis back this season? I done already, like I said, it's a resounding no for me. It's a resounding no for me. Thick Girl says, to confide in someone is to keep your mouth closed to everyone else after I tell you something. And to me, that's where the issue was. And although Marceau was addressing the pillow talk, the big thing is, number one, well, now I know that I'm not going to say anything to you because y'all are so transparent that anything I say to you is automatically going to get taken to your wife, and your wife don't know how to keep her mouth shut. So now we ain't got nothing to talk about. But in reality, in real life, if you tell somebody something, 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell their spouse. But their spouse has common enough sense to keep their mouth shut. Right. Right. And then she keeps bringing stuff up to try to fit in, but it's not making you fit in. It's making you be on the outskirts because you've now alienated yourself against destiny. And whether Tisha wants to admit it or not, because Tisha doesn't really like confrontation, you can tell that she's not someone who really enjoys confrontation. She feels a way about Tiffany too. You can't tell me that she don't. Tiffany and Destiny is the same person when it comes to never divulging any of their business. That's why they can't get along. They have a lot of things wrong in their marriage. Like it's even a real marriage. It's more like best friends with benefits. Who you talking about? Tisha and Marceau? Is that who you talking about? Okay. So then, before we get on this last scene, before I forget, make sure that you like the video. If you're just coming in, I only have a few likes, but I see quite a few of y'all in here. Please don't forget to like the video. That helps me in the algorithm. If you're watching on the replay, do that as well. Okay. So then Maurice, again, because Maurice and Kimmy have been quiet this whole time. They said, Maurice asked, how important is happiness? And so when Maurice asked that, Melody says, well, I want to redirect that question, and I want to ask how detrimental is depression. And I thought those were very interesting questions. I think they are two different questions, two different sides of the same coin. When you talk about how important happiness is in the marriage, I think that it's very important in a marriage. While happiness is very important in a marriage, you are not going to be happy all the time. And sometimes we have this false sense of hope, maybe, that when you get married that it's going to always be bliss and rainbows, and that's not true. You go through, and that's just life. In life, you're not going to always be happy. It's important for you to find your happiness and to be happy, but you're not going to always have that. So I thought that was interesting. And then Mel, like I said, with Mel's question about how detrimental is depression, that is very detrimental. And that could totally affect, because you can have one spouse trying, but if the other person is depressed, it's just not going to work. And that's kind of the dynamic that it seems like we're seeing with Tisha and Marceau. Marceau says that, he in the past year he's been depressed. He says in his confessional that he's not happy, he's content. And he didn't realize that just trying to stay base level content is risking depression. Excuse me. And while he is doing all of this, and it seemed like in this scene, Marceau was really kind of opening up and being vulnerable. But notice again, Tisha is quiet. And a lot of this seemed like Tisha's first time hearing it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all drop down in the comments. Tell me if y'all caught that. But the way that Marceau was saying that this past year, I've been really depressed. And I mean, happiness is great, but you ain't always gonna be happy. It's commitment that's what keeps me here. And while the thought is noble, the reality of it is damning, because Tisha is not just trying to be in this marriage just because of the commitment of it. Tisha is seeking happiness. You can see that. Tisha's seeking happiness. That's why she's gone back to school. That's why she's trying to get back into the workforce. That's why she's trying to get them into therapy. It's because she's trying to seek happiness within this marriage. Whereas Marceau was completely doing the absolute opposite, and he's trying to just remain. He's just trying to maintain. And Kimmy, I believe it was like, if you don't prioritize happiness, then then you'll never get there. You'll always be depressed. And I was like, that's it. I've told y'all before on the channel, this past year I had a little bout with depression, and I had to, and that was a real statement that Kimmy made. You have to prioritize you have to choose it. Some days you are going to not feel okay, but you have to choose it. Just like Marceau, you have to choose to be with your family over your work. You have to choose to find those moments that bring you actual joy. And so him saying that says that he is in this 15-year marriage, but he don't even know how to be happy in this marriage. And that's really sad. And I think that really hit Tisha at that table. If you saw her face, like, that was Tisha's first time hearing that. That was Tisha's first time hearing that. Marceau said in his confessional that he didn't know how. I think he said something like he didn't know how to be happy, and he's not happy. That's really effed up. It's really effed up, because before you can express that to this group of wayward friends, you and your wife should have that. That's why y'all should be in counseling, Marceau. That's why. Even if it's some type of, I don't know, group counseling, I don't know, something, some kind of support group, some kind of Bible study, some kind of something. And I do agree with his mindset about, I'm not going to be taking advice from people who are not in my same shoes. I get it. But something ain't right. You need to have those married friends. And I'm talking about people who have and you need an array of marriages. And I'm not trying to discount. Let me make this clear too before I end off, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to discount Tiffany and Lewis's marriage because they've only been married a year. Some people have amazing marriages in a year. Some people have had better marriages in that year than people who've had 25 years of marriage. That's all well, great, and good. However, you need a wide range of perspectives from a wide range of experienced marriages if you're going to try to take anything from that. You get what I'm saying? You can't take everything from someone who's been married a year can't tell you everything. Even someone who's been married 30 years can't tell you everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, you need to be able to take it from every aspect. So that's why I liked this show, because it showed various stages of love and marriage up until we started getting side chicks and divorce. But I don't think that I don't wish divorce or anything on Tisha and Marceau. And I truly think that if anything were to happen, if there were any separation to happen, it would have to be on Tisha's part. Like, Tisha would be the one to walk away from this marriage, not Marceau. In my opinion, I feel like Tisha would be the one that says, I choose me, I choose my happiness, I choose my kids. That's why I'm leaving. Because Marceau has just made it clear that he don't care he will sit in this house and be 30 years miserable with you. And just because you've been married for 30 years and you're in a 30-year loveless, miserable marriage, that ain't the marriage I'm trying to be in either. You know what I'm saying? I pray that ain't the marriage that they trying to be in. But if he's not trying to make any actual steps to prioritizing happiness, like Kimmy says, within their family, within their marriage, then it's what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm ending the poll. So according to the poll, y'all don't want to see Tiffany and Lewis back. Also, I have the link. I'm only going to be on here for a few more minutes. If you want to drop in and talk and give your opinion on tonight's episode, feel free to click the link. I'm going to catch up on these comments real quick. Why Hill number 2 will never fit in with the men. They have too many skeletons in their closet and he'll tell it all. Ain't that the truth? But you know what? Martell be out there telling it all. Martell be tattletelling too when he get caught up in something. How important is letting your wife know all things and not what you feel she should know, Maurice? Dang. While having side talks with your ex-wife about everything you don't tell your wife. Why you had to come from Maurice? Just asked about being happy. Why you had to come from Maurice like that, thick girl? Why you had to come for him like that? I did see you say something about Marceau was addressing the renewal on Twitter tonight. So I'm going over to his Twitter right now to see if I see anything. Marceau don't be tweeting. Ain't nothing on this Twitter from Marceau. This is the right Marceau, right? Yeah, it's the right Marceau. Okay. I know you don't like Maurice. I know, but you ain't had to do him like that. I'm over here. I'm on Marceau's Twitter right now. Marceau ain't tweeted nothing since 2019. So I don't know what he was addressing. Let me go over here on Instagram and see if I see anything on Instagram. Marceau Scott. And you know they always get on. He ain't said nothing today neither. They always get on Instagram, him and Tisha, after the show, after he done sat there and embarrassed her. Then he like to get on. They like to get on Instagram and Twitter and talk about how in love they are and how it's just a show and people read too much into it. And, you know, they always do that. I always take that with a grain of salt. I All right, send it to me. Send it to me, thick girl. Now I did see um in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, because y'all know I be in them groups, child. Y'all know I be all up and through these internet streets. That's why I come and bring y'all some tea. Oh, okay. Real quick. Speaking of them groups and the tea. So last week in the internet group, Martell, I gotta remember these M's. Martell, in case you didn't know, dropped the names of the guys that Melody allegedly um had allegedly been cheating or whatever with. He dropped it. I'm talking about dropped their actual names. I didn't take the screenshot. I could have, but I was just like, I don't feel like it today. But I did take a screenshot of Melody's response to it. Hold on, I'm pulling it up now so y'all can see. All right, come on, show me. Oh, come on, why I gotta do all this? I'm pulling it up, but and then so here's my thing with Martell. Basically, as far as Melody's response, she basically said she ain't messed with nobody till after she left her marriage, in April. So she don't understand why he is even bringing that up. Where is it? I got so many screenshots. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna share it on the screen. This was Melody's response. I know, thick girl. I'm gonna go back and watch Melody's interview of the Ooh Ladies First panel, and I will probably give my thoughts on it tomorrow. I just want to go ahead and get on here and get this review done. So Melody responded and said, "The lies one will tell. I ain't never messed with a married nor engaged person, nor did I mess with anyone while I was still with my ex-husband. Anyone I entertained after I left my marriage on 4/4/2020 really ain't nobody's business because it was over then. I moved out and never moved my stuff back in. I know the attempt to make me think no one would want me with 4 kids and that nobody would treat me better didn't quite work. Mad, bitter exes should stay where they at on the sidelines. Millimeters, stand by for the next flag I throw on the play for him being off sides. Hashtag telltale signs. Hashtag team wife. Hashtag flag on the play. Hashtag little man. Okay. So that is Melody's response to Martell putting the names out of who she allegedly messed with. And part of the reason why I didn't take the screenshot is because I didn't want to put those names out. I just felt like it was unnecessary. One of the men that he said was, if y'all watched his interview last year with Dr. Heavily, and he said that she messed with their attorney. One of the guys was the attorney, and then the other guy, I don't remember who the other guy was. But we already know that she, like, I just don't believe Martell. Martell has shown himself to be a liar. And who, like, if you are going to continuously believe someone who's a liar, who's the bigger fool? You get what I'm saying? That's just how I think about it. Like, if you will lie to this woman that you have had 4 children with consistently for 4 years, I know you'll lie to me. You know, who am I for you to lie to me? So I take everything he says with a grain of salt. And also in that group, I did see them showing pictures of Marceau and Tisha renewing their vows. Maybe it was for their 10th anniversary, maybe. I wasn't really following it. I saw like a quick little blurb of it, and I was just like, I don't care enough. At the end of the day, when it came to tonight's episode and it came to him telling Tisha that he was not going to renew his vows, and she came up here and made a fool of her doggone self, I don't feel any ways about it. I don't feel sorry for her. That's on her. That's on her. But all right, y'all, that's it. I'm out of here. I do reviews on Love Marriage Huntsville every week. I will be back in 2 weeks. Ready to Love comes back, so we'll be back to do reviews for Ready to Love as well. Also, y'all know I have my Real Housewives of Potomac reviews on Sundays, so I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow or if I'm gonna record it. Y'all just make sure that you have your notification bell on so that you will get notified when I do go live. Also, if you watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I did not review the entire season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because I started the season late as far as watching it. But I am going to do a recaps on the 4-part reunion because I have a lot of thoughts about Miss Erica Jane, Miss Sutton Strake, and of course Fancy, aka Garcelle Bouvet. I got a lot of thoughts about them. So if you enjoy if you enjoy Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all make sure that y'all come back once the reunion starts, because I am going to give my thoughts on that as well. I will probably do a short video. It won't be a live, but I'll definitely do a short video tomorrow on Mel's interview with Ooh Ladies First Panel. And I think that is it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and supporting me. Again, if you would like to further support the channel, you can always do so by clicking the links down in the description box. Remember, shout out to my Patreon. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys. So make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. Don't forget to order your custom B Stokes styling merch. That's right, we have merch. Just click the link down below in the description box and order your B Stokes styling merch today.